different from other member states, that production and use of drugs is punishable by law, but the Office of the Public Prosecutor refrains from prosecuting under specific conditions the consumption and sale of cannabis. To be quite clear, the production of cannabis does not normally come under this exception. It looks as if step by step the by now traditional Dutch policies are changing. You might have expected a move, when I talk about change, a move towards more liberalization, if only to relieve the police and the judiciary, especially in view of the current budgetary cuts. The situation for the police in the Netherlands is dire. The police is not exempted from the austerity policies of the current Dutch government, and many local police forces are facing a reduction of the number of policemen who can be out in the streets. And all of that while policemen are complaining already that they do not have enough time to be out there due to all the paperwork that they have to do nowadays. Thus there is every reason to relieve the police and also the judiciary of the onerous load of drugs-related cases, especially insofar as they concern cannabis. Reality, however, is much different. The trend is clearly towards more repression and so towards more unnecessary work for the police. Let me give you first a few concrete examples of this trend. Very topical, I think, at the moment in the south of the Netherlands, near the city of Eindhoven, organized crime related to the production of cannabis is strong and violent. The mayor of Helmond, one of the towns near that city, had to go into hiding because of the many personal threats originating in these criminal groups against him and his family. The reason why organized crime is so interested in cannabis is because on the one hand production isn't regulated, so the coffee shops and others have to rely on illegal sources, and on the other hand because the penalties, if they get caught, are less high when the production concerns soft drugs than in the case of hard drugs. As a general reaction to these developments in Eindhoven and Helmond, you would therefore have expected a debate on the half-heartedness of our policies and the need for some type of regulation of the production of cannabis, thus depriving organized crime from a wonderful market. But no, the reaction was that we need to further toughen up the existing policies. Inter alia by introducing a membership card so that only those who have a valid membership card will be allowed to buy cannabis in the existing coffee shops. This, however, is not the only restrictive measure taken in the past year. Other towns in the south of the Netherlands, such as Bergen op Zoom and Roosendaal, have closed down all their coffee shops because they could no longer tolerate the trouble caused by drugs tourists. The same happened in a town in Zeeland, near the Belgian border. There are more measures being taken or introduced. For example, in the city where I live, in Rotterdam, last year the municipality closed all the coffee shops that are located within 250 meters walking distance from schools. The national government thinks that this is a great idea and considers introducing a similar rule at national level. Coffee shops who are found to sell drugs to youth under the age of 18 will also be closed immediately. All the rules are applied more strictly. Coffee shops are not allowed to have more than 500 grams of cannabis in store, and they may not sell more than 5 grams to a customer. Violations of these rules are also followed by closure of the coffee shops. So on one hand you see closing down of the coffee shops is taking place regularly on the basis of all sorts of criteria, and no licenses are given to open up new coffee shops. As you can see, theoretically the Netherlands are still different from the rest of Europe, but the net around the coffee shops is gradually closing in. But not only the coffee shops are targeted, also the users of cannabis are increasingly under attack. The organizers of many parties already carry a zero-tolerance policy concerning drugs and no longer make a distinction between hard and soft drugs. Employers, such as the Ministry of Defense, but also more generally, are allowed to require from their personnel that they do not use drugs and may introduce compulsory testing. Governments and municipal councils are now also talking about introducing drug tests at schools. At last but not least, soon a measure will be introduced allowing the police to collect phlegm samples from drivers. If they test positive, this means that they can be fined. It's not clear yet how the police will deal with this in practice, since a phlegm test in itself is not reliable enough. So people who are testing positive will have to go to the police station to have their blood tested. This will bring about an immense increase of the workload